Danger! Danger right there! Danger!
All right, guys, so today we're going to work on another one of our fundamental wrestling moves. This one, instead of being a stand-up from the knees, we're actually going to work a stand-up from the butt. And this one has a lot of crossover, not just to wrestling, but to other combat and grappling sports, especially in jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to break this down in one of the easiest variations I can. So we're just going to start with my right foot on the ground here and my left foot bent, just like this. I want my knee to be slightly bent here. Not completely straight, but slightly bent. And I'm just going to have my foot, instead of on the heel on the ground, my foot's going to be to the side. I'm going to have my entire leg kind of connected with the ground here. And whatever leg is straight, so say it's the right leg that's kind of straight here, it's going to be the right hand that's placed on the ground. And I'm just going to bridge up just like this and come back down. The main idea is I want to get as high as I can. You'll see later why that's important. But basically, if I don't get high enough, it's going to be hard to pull that leg through. So I'm going to come as high as I can, bring this hand up. I want to really push through this heel here, coming as high as I can, just like that. And I can switch sides. So now the other side, left foot on the ground, right knee bent, left hand on the ground. I'm just going to bridge up, come back down, bridge up, come back down, and that sets up our stand-up for our other ones coming.
Make sure you bridge off your heel instead of your toe for better force production. And make sure to bridge as high as you can so that you have room to clear.
All right, so the next variation we're going to be working today is going to actually allow us to get up to our feet now. So now we're going to advance a little bit further and take the last one that we were doing before. So I had the foot on the ground, knee bent, and I was posting up like this, right? So now what I want to do is I actually want to get to my feet, but I'm not going to be completely standing up like I want to do in the full version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to what's called a tripod position from here. So again, it's my right leg straight, right hand on the ground, and left knee bent, and I'm going to bridge up. But now what I want to do, instead of having my hands reaching backwards, I actually want to be kind of reaching forward, because I want to have this left hand touch the ground, and my right foot's going to pull through here, right? But I have to pivot off this foot, right? If I just go here, I won't be able to get all the way through. I have to pivot that foot all the way through, right? So I come up, bridging off the ground. This left hand touches the ground. This right foot pulls through, and I'm going to pivot on that foot so I get to the tripod position just like this. And then I can go right back down. So I bridge up. I'm going to let this hand come forward. My torso comes forward. I pull the leg through, and I pivot right to tripod position, just like that. Up. Pull the leg through, pivot, and tripod.
After you've bridged, make sure to pivot on the balls of your feet so you can more easily rotate your hip and pull your leg through.
All right, so this last version of our stand-up is going to be the most practical version, one that you would use in wrestling or a jiu-jitsu scenario. And instead of ending up in a tripod position, which is better than on your butt or on your back, it's still not the most ideal position. I want to actually get up to my feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my right foot on the ground, left knee bent, and right hand toasted. I'm going to come up. Remember what I said in the first video? I got to make sure I get up as high as I possibly can. Because if I don't get up high enough and I pull this leg through, I'm going to get caught partway through and I'm not going to have power, right? So I really got to exaggerate how high I come up, right? And another thing I want to make sure is that I'm kind of centered right here. If I lean back like this, I'm not going to be able to pull that leg through properly. So I have my hand kind of reaching forward, not too far forward where I touch the ground like the tripod, but I'm reaching forward. I bridge up as high as I can, so I'm holding this balance here, right? It's from a self-defense aspect, this is me blocking my face, or being able to grapple my opponent. Just from a balance component, it's actually me being able to hold myself in place. So I bridge off this foot, I come up as high as I can, and I'm gonna pull this leg back. Again, it's not this way like it was in the tripod. I'm pulling it as far as I can behind me, and I'm gonna stand up just like that. I'll show you from this angle so you can see how far I'm pulling it behind me, right? So I have this leg straight, this knee bent. I'm gonna come up as high as I can. I'm not reaching too far back. My hand's in the middle here. I'm pulling this leg back. And remember, if I don't come up high enough, my foot's going to get caught here. To come up as high as I can, I got to pull way behind me. Step like this, nice wide stance. I can stand up just like that.
Make sure you bridge high enough so you can more easily pull your leg through. If you perform an improper bridge, you may find that you get stuck halfway through and are unstable.
So this next variation we're going to do is more like an add-on than an actual variation. I'm going to actually be adding another move that we did earlier from maybe a couple weeks ago to this move we're doing today. So I'm going to show you from this angle so you can see where I'm going to end up. So I'm going to do the last one to stand up. So I'm going to have my foot on the ground, knee bent. I'm going to come up and I'm going to pull this leg through and I come here, right? But now from this position, instead of standing up, I'm actually going to perform the sit through we did earlier. So I'm going to have my hand to my head, bring this hip down, and sit through just like that. And then I come back to tripod, and sit back to my butt like this, right? So what you'll realize is that the stand up and the sit through are very similar to one another. I'm coming up, pulling this leg through, and I'm sitting this way, and I come right back to tripod. They're very similar to one another. So leg on the ground, knee bent, post up, pull the leg through, my hand touches, I pivot that foot, and immediately I sit through, so this left foot comes through, right hand comes to my head, tap on the ground, back to tripod, full sit, just like that.
This exercise requires core stability and control. Make sure you perform slowly and control your torso by keeping your chest looking straight ahead. Once you complete the rep, come to a full seated position.
Alright guys, so the next situation is going to be our practical situation, so how it actually applies to a real grappling/wrestling scenario. So, for example, let's say Cruz gets me down on the ground, but he doesn't establish control of the legs, right? So he's taking me down, I'm on my butt, but he doesn't actually wrap around my legs. So, perfect example of this would be an ankle pick situation. So let's say Cruz hits an ankle pick on me right here. If I'm on the ground, I'm posting on his arm or shoulder right here, so he can't advance any further, right? Again, this is a very quick movement. I would not stay here, but I'm pushing him away from me so I can create some space. I'm bridging off this foot here as high as I can, and I want to pull this leg behind me, just like this, and now I can engage with Cruz and keep pressing, right? So I'll show that again. Cruz hits the ankle pick, right? I push off the shoulder so I don't let him advance any further. I'm going to bridge up. I want to pull this leg way behind me, step back, and now I can start engaging with Cruz again. But at least I prevented him from advancing the ankle pick position.
Thank you very much for watching. This is Coach Cruz Velasquez
And Cody Osborn.